All right, guys, come on back in the room. Come on back in the room. I just need somebody to hop on and tell me if we can hear. Hopefully, we didn't lose our audience. If we did, we could always try it at another time. What time is 4:30? Okay, we've got one person in. Hey guys, who's ever there? Hey, still classy. Can you hear me? We tried to do this before and there was no sound. Creative living. Hey, Terry, can you guys hear me? Let me
Can
know.
you hear us?
Oh,
Okay.
great. You guys can hear. Okay, good, good, good. We had some technical difficulties. So thanks for coming back in. Three people watching, two thumbs up. If I can get those thumbs up as you're coming in, I sure would appreciate it.
Mhm.
Great. Hey, listen, guys, I just wanted to jump on real quick. I'm trying something new. My friend Carissa, you see
Okay.
her on the screen there. She's gonna kind of help me out with this a little bit, but I really want you guys to just jump in, chime in, and let's have a little discussion. I started talking about minding my own business. So, what I want to talk about is in the context of small business development, minding your own business. Essentially, what I'd like to talk about is focusing on your own enterprises rather than getting distracted by external factors, things beyond our control. I want to talk about prioritizing our own goals, our actions within our business, and maybe your personal life. Um, Hopefully, this focused approach can help lead to greater clarity, efficiency, and success in our own business. Um, Here, I want us all to learn from each other. There are no experts here, but to help build and share on all things positive. So I want to talk about with all of you guys about minding your own business. A little bit about me. Hey guys, hey Creative Living, still classy. Hey friends, hey Victoria, how are you? Okay, guys, 33 watching, only six thumbs up. Come on, guys, give us a thumbs up. That keeps us all in the algorithm. I'm going to introduce my friend Carissa here in just a minute, but I wanted to share a little bit about myself. Um, I'm a native of New Orleans. I think most of you guys already know that. Um, and I've developed a basket case. Now, a lot of people always ask me, well, why'd you name your business Basket Case? Doesn't that mean crazy people? Well, I just always go back and think, well, Moses was a basket case. Okay. If you guys ever read in the Bible about the story of Moses, he was a basket case, but he turned out to be a mighty man of valor. Okay. So when I started praying about and thinking about the name that I wanted to name my business, I always give glory and honor to God in whatever endeavor I set my mind to. Okay. But a little bit about me, a little bit of a background. Native of New Orleans. Most of you guys knew that. I have been in business in corporate America for 30 plus years. Yes, 30 plus years. Started even before I graduated from college. Right now, I work in financial services for a major insurance company. So I do financial planning, we do portfolios, things of that nature. Um, Been doing this for over 30 years. Over time, I have helped build wealth for this corporation, for many different sub businesses or agents. Using my basically my expertise. Now, some of you all may say, that's a long time to be building wealth for someone else. And it is. But I had to go back and look at some of the tools that I learned and I was able to glean on somebody else's dime. I traveled, I listened to people from all over the world, and their strategies in building businesses and running businesses, yada, yada, yada. Made many mistakes throughout my career, but still was able to put some of those tools in in my arsenal. Okay. So I also was able to create and run a thriving women's ministry. It was called Vibe Women's Ministry, ran that ministry for about 15 years. No, I'm not a church. I'm not a pastor. I am a licensed minister, but the women's ministry was basically about empowering women in finance, in business, in family. So it was an amazing thing. And then COVID hit. And of course, the whole world went upside down when COVID hit. But like I said, I have always had an entrepreneurial spirit, always want to run my own business. But you guys can attest to this. Sometimes we just have to wait on God's time, God's timing. I am not good at reading and talking. So let's see. Somebody hit the report button instead of the like button. Go ahead. What? Hey, BT Flowers. Good evening in the chat. Still classy. Hey, BT Flowers. We're not going to worry about if there's any trolls in here because you know what? Whatever. We're not worried about them. Anyway, 11 people, 10 thumbs up, guys. Thank you. Got one more thumbs up in there. Anyway, um, I was talking about waiting on God's timing, and now that the person that I am working for, my employer is about to retire. He's getting up there in age. I've had several opportunities to either start my own agency in corporate America, which is not what I wanted to do, so several different business opportunities, but still keeping me tied and entangled in corporate America. Now, let me just say, there is nothing wrong with that because I learned a lot. I learned so much from working in corporate America. I've just reached a place and a stage in my life where, basically I've just had enough of corporate America. I have learned a lot, and I am ready now to venture off on my own. Thus, Basket Case was born. I have always been a creative person. I love creativity. I've always said that when I work with my hands, my mind is free. So when I get in my craft room and start creating, my mind is just free. I love to dream about things and then watch God as He takes it to another level and brings it into fruition. Um, so I just wanted to share and also listen to you guys by some of the practices that I have learned in business. I'm going to introduce my friend Carissa. Hey, Carissa, um, on the screen. Well, Rissa, come back. We can't see you. I'm looking at your port.
Sorry, I
Okay,
tried to
there you
unmute.
go. Um, my friend Carissa was a part of my Vibe Women's Ministry many, many years ago, and I'm gonna let her tell you a little bit about her story and how Basket Case has kind of bled over more or less into her life and several others, but we're going to use her for a guinea pig on today. So, Rissa, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, what you do, how you came into the ministry, and how Basket Case, or basically you're dreaming about your own business and where God has taken you on that journey.
Okay. Hi, my name's Carissa. I'm gonna apologize now for the background noise. I'm sitting on my front porch. Um, I too I started my journey through Vibe Women's Ministry. It was a place to grow, not only as a woman, but also in life. Some of the things that really thrive through that ministry also involves the business aspect of things. But one of the things that I learned through that was how to become my own me, my own person outside of work, outside of my family, outside of my friends. And sometimes for me, it would be just sitting in silence would drive me crazy because then I had to deal with my own mess. Well, figuring out a way to be quiet and sit still came through the mentorship of Vibe Women's Ministry and Crystal as well as a mentor, not just in life, but also as well as business. With everything that she learned, she's helped me to learn how to grow my business. What I do is I actually decided to sell Avon. And the funny part about me getting ready to sell Avon was I kept buying it from one person, never heard anybody else selling it. It kind of what I thought phased out after a little while. I remember my grandmother selling Avon. I remember all the older people in my life selling Avon. And I was like, okay, well, I'm buying the product. Let me just become a representative. Then maybe I'll get a little discount. But then there was a joy of watching people say, hey, is anyone selling Avon again? And I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and start selling Avon. Listening to Crystal, being encouraged by the fact of having a second income outside of your day to day job, it encouraged me and inspired me. But one thing I called her and said, I was like, well, I'm not a great seller and I'm not great at putting my name out there. How can I get this started? What's the first step? Well, the first step was signing up. Then I thought, oh, that I'm not going to be able to sell this product because I'm not the best seller. And so she gave me tips and tricks to be able to sell. One of them was always being in front of people, always having your product and your business on the forefront of your mind in any conversation. And you don't always have to do it in way of trying to sell something. It just comes through gradual conversation. We go out to dinner, we have coffee, or we just meet people in the mall, and you'll hear them say, oh, girl, I got to go buy Bath and Body Works because my legs are dry. And you're like, you know what? I sell Avon Skin So Soft lotion. It helps with your skin. Maybe you should try it sometimes. Having little samples available, your card always available, and networking. The biggest seller for me with my Avon was listening to Crystal say, we're going to take it to the streets. And I was like, we fixing to go stand on the street corner and sell what? But standing on the street corner has been the biggest seller for my Avon and social media. There are more people out there than I know of that have been looking for people with Avon, but I was too scared to even put my name out there because I was like, people are going to think, oh, that's for old people. But it's not, it's for young people as well. One of my hottest sellers right now is Skin So Soft Avon. But I'm saying all of that to say, for me, it came out of being able to do it afraid. Sometimes the first step is just taking the step. The rest of it will fall in place with good mentorship and just remembering to always keep your business in the forefront of your mind. The next thing was using the profit from your business wisely as God wants you to be able to use it to help grow. I mean, we all have sometimes with me, if I see something, I want to go and buy it. But I've had to learn to take that money, put it in a separate account, utilize it for what it's supposed to be utilized for, even if it's just pouring back into the business to buy more product. And as I've done that, I'm starting to see growth in my profit instead of being like, oh, I'm making this money and spending it as it's coming in, literally setting it back a business wise and a plan. And I'm still growing in that area because Lord knows I used to like to do things for other people. So I would spontaneously buy for other people. But learning, okay, this is what I want in life. Because at some point, we all may need a second income, if you know what I mean. So taking that and utilizing that second income wisely to the place that I pray, my prayer is to hopefully be able to give back to those who may have needed the things that I needed throughout this journey. That's my hope and prayer with my business, as well as we are in the process of being able to try to buy a house and getting things in order for that. So that's my ultimate goal. But I want to be able to help people along this journey. So there's a lot of little tips and tricks that I've learned from Crystal and even throughout the ministry, and just learning to be a good steward of what God has given me. And it took
Awesome.
me a minute to get there, but I'm learning now as I go along the way.
And we're all learning together. We're all learning together. Let me tell you guys, again, I work for a major insurance company in financial services. For the better part of my career, I have sold a promise. I've sold an intangible product, something you could not touch. Okay. I sold a contract. I sold a promise, i.e., financial services, life insurance. Let's just say life insurance. That's an intangible. I'm just selling you a promise. I'm promising you that if and when something happens to someone that you are purchasing this policy for, that I, the company, is going to stand behind you and we're going to be able to deliver. Now, let me tell you, that is what I call, quote unquote, a hard sale, because it's not anything tangible. You come in, you talk to me, we discuss finances, we discuss dreams, aspirations, if something happens, how to keep your house in order, how to get your house in order. And then at the end of that conversation, you know, you're signing on the dotted line for X amount of dollars that if and when something happens, I will be there to deliver. You walk out of my office, you have given me money, but all you leaving with is a piece of paper or a receipt. That is it. That is all. And you pay those premiums month after month after month after month in hopes that nothing ever happens, but with the promise that if it does, that company will deliver. That's a hard sale. Let me just tell you. So, whatever you may be selling, whether it be baskets or candy or goodies or Avon or t shirts, cups, hats, door signs, just whatever, you've got to believe in yourself, have good business practice, keep your promise. Stand behind what you do. I am a firm believer that anything that I do in a spirit of excellence, all glory be unto God. He is going to be a rewarder of those who faithfully serve him. Um, so if I can sell an intangible and make a good living for over 30 years off of just selling a promise, I know that we can all come together. And I'm sorry, I'm just reading some of the comments. Um, Victoria says she totally agrees. Okay, so that is great. That is great. So, another thing I want to encourage, and I've encouraged Carissa to do this too, and I've also learned this after many, many years. It is okay to ask for what you want. Ask for what you want. We have not because we don't ask for it a lot of times. Um, don't be afraid of the no. Don't be afraid of the no. All money is not good money.
Mhm.
Everybody is not going to buy. Everybody is not going to jump on board with your vision. You have to pen your own dream. Okay. You have to dream and know that your vision is going to come to pass. Another thing, you cannot share your vision with everybody. Please, please listen. Please know this. Everybody is not in the same headspace you're in. They're not traveling in the same direction. God has us on different playing fields sometimes, so you have to know your circle and who you're going to share your vision with. People that are going to pray for you, people that's going to stand behind you, people that are going to bless you. You cannot cast your pearl before the swine. And all that means is everything. is not for everybody. Okay. So if you have a vision of being, I don't know, building a mansion on the hill, that is your dream. If God told you that's going to come to pass, then you believe in that. You can't tell Miss Sally Mae down the street. Forgive me if anybody on here named Sally Mae. I don't mean that, but you know what I'm saying. You can't tell everybody that because not everybody is going to be praying for you. So find your circle. Find your circle. One thing about me, I have reached a time in my life where I have traveled. Um, I've been on this journey a while. I mean, married for over 40 some years. I've raised two beautiful girls. They've got their own family, yada, yada, yada. Been there, done that. Now, let me tell you, I done made some mistakes along the way. Now, it ain't all been glory. Trust and believe. It has not. Um, you heard that saying, I don't look like what I've been through. So I done been through some things, but I've learned. So at this point in my life, my lot is to pass on to others what I have learned, which is kind of what's been was a spinoff into the women's ministry. So your testimony is your test, and it's no good if you don't pass it on. You need to let people know, hey, you might not want to do this, that, or the other because this may not work, or, or try this because this may work. So that's kind of where I am um, in this journey of, I don't want to call myself a mentor. I guess I am just because of my age and some of the stuff I've been through and whatever. But I'm going to be a forever student. I'm a forever student. I'm forever going to be learning from others. I do not know everything. I have learned a lot because I've been around a little while to learn some things, but I'm forever learning. My husband always says, if you are the smartest person in the room, then you need to change rooms. Okay. You really need to change rooms. So, because this journey that we're on, we're forever learning. We're forever learning and expanding. Okay. Enough about that. Getting back into the business realm, and we're not going to be on here very much longer. So stay with me, guys. Thank you all for who've stuck with me so far. If I can say anything, Victoria says we're never too old to learn something. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, in the business world, asking for what you want, do not be afraid to ask for referrals. Ask for referrals. Those repeat customers, those returning customers, people that just ooh and ah over the products that you're trying to sell, ask them, well, do you know anybody else that may be interested in what I'm selling? You know anybody with any birthdays? You know anybody that might have a party coming up? Just whatever. Do not be afraid to ask for referrals. I just was talking to my friend Carissa about that the other day because her Avon is starting to pick up. So her tagline is, I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing Avon back. I am so proud of that young woman right there. Because let me tell you, Carissa is a great supporter. She will support you in whatever you're doing. Her dreams are so big for you. But then I began to challenge her. Well, what about you? What about your dreams? Let me tell you something. Everything that I've learned, I am not a gatekeeper. I am so not a gatekeeper. I believe that God cannot bless you if these are closed. Okay? God can't pour into what's already closed. You got to open your hands and be ready to not only receive, but to pour out because the blessings start from the top and they run down. So whatever I have learned, because if I can see her succeed, I know God's going to bless me. Okay, I know God's going to bless me. So we got to always always be ready to open up our hands. Let me just pause here. Still Classy said that's awesome to have a friend like that. Let me tell you. Now look, we have been through some things. We're gonna talk about that another time. We're gonna talk about that another time. But our friendship, our sisterhood was God inspired.
Mhm.
It really was. It was God inspired. It did not start out that way. It did not. I cannot lie. I cannot lie. But God told me to take this young woman, because she's a little bit younger than me, under my wing. I did not know her story back then, and we went through some things. But let me tell you, how many, 15 years now, Carissa? I don't
Woo.
know.
10,
Later,
18,
you
so
know,
about 8, almost 17 years.
okay, my ride or die, my ride or die. I can always depend on her. Um, Let's see. BT Flower says maybe we could start another women's group for the basket makers. I would love to be a member. Hey, that's a good idea. That's a
Mhm.
good idea. And I'm sure, listen, if you guys don't have someone like that in your circle, now let me tell you, my circle is not really big. Okay. It's very, very small. I know a lot of people. I know lots of people and love them all, but my circle is very, very small. Um, I have learned, that I don't need to be in a whole crowd of people to feel valued. Okay. That starts from in here. That starts from in here. But I don't want to get off into that because I don't want this to go too much longer.
Can I
Because
interject for 1 second?
yes, yes, please.
Just in terms of going back for a moment to the business aspect of things, one of the other key things that I had to learn from my friend actually is a lot of times when we're getting ready to start our business, our family can be the biggest challenge. They always need us for something. You get off work, they always want something, or they think in their minds, oh, I know that this is your hobby, which is what we're told. But sometimes overcoming that, the biggest help for me was getting my husband, not my children, to understand this really is a business. And once he started seeing that and seeing growth, it's still a challenge. I'm not saying it's not at times, but once he started seeing the growth and the change and what God has inspired me to do, he jumped on board. But it is a challenge. The biggest challenge for me was getting my family to understand this isn't just a hobby. I truly want this to be a business. So,
Yes, yes. I think that's been a little bit of a challenge and still is kind of for me, especially with my kids.
mhm.
Because they'll see me in my design room and I'm creating, and we're empty nesters, so my children don't live with me. They're grown and gone, but the grandkids are, I'm accessible. I'm just accessible. So how I've combated that is in my design room. I have a sign on my door that says working or video in progress. Greatness in progress is basically what it says. So they know when that door is closed and that sign is on there that I am working. I'm working. And let me tell you, I put just as much energy in what I am doing with these, okay, as I did in corporate America. I don't shortchange myself at all. I do not. I do not. So that's okay. That's okay to let people know and your friends know, girl, I can't go out with you today to have brunch or whatever. I have orders I have to fill. I have to get this done. I have a delivery I have to make, so on and so forth. Um, let's see, still classy, yes, because sometimes we start it as a hobby. When we are ready to take it to the next level, they don't take it serious. Correct. You are so right, still classy. But you know what? Let me tell you, you teach people what do I always say.
How to treat you.
You teach people how to treat you. Now, I didn't coin that phrase. I think that was Maya Angelou,
Yeah, it
but
was.
I'm using it today. You teach people how to treat you, okay? In business and in life in general. You teach people how to treat you. You set the standard. You set the standard. And trust me, either you're going to follow the standard or we just going to have to keep retraining you until you do get the standard. Also in business, because especially if you're a crafter of some sort or you own a business, you're selling whatever, it is also important to maintain balance. Got to maintain some balance. You can't be working, working, working all the time, shutting out your whole family, and then your husband goes lacking, or your kids go lacking, or you're missing out on some really great things that might be happening. So you got to kind of find a balance, because when we work a 9 to 5, you wake up in the morning, your day is all set, you go and do what you have to do, and then you come home, and then the day is kind of yours, whatever, whatever. You got to maintain some kind of balance as well in your small business. I'm still working on that. I'm gonna stop calling my business small, because I really believe God is about to take me to another level, as I am believing for you guys. Okay. So let me just go ahead. Creative living. Hi, Lisa. Still classy.
Hi.
Everybody saying hey to everybody. Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. Okay. So does anybody have any questions or anything else they want to add? This is not about me. This is about us as a whole. And it's not only basket makers on here. There's people that selling all kinds of things. Um, as gift designers, let me just use that because that's what I am. As gift designers, sometimes this is what we call our down season or our slow season, because it's not the holidays or whatever. So right now we're kind of trying to gear up for Christmas, more or less. um I firmly believe that I really don't have a downtime. I really don't have a downtime. My mind is constantly going about the next level. How do I develop this? What can I do differently? Strategies, business practices. In fact, I know I get on Carissa's nerves all the time, because
No.
I have challenged her every day on your lunch hour, okay? Or before you leave, or before you get there in the morning, what have you done to progress your business? Whether it is make a phone call, post on social media, make a video, do a shout out, talk to somebody at work, ask for what. I'm sorry, y'all, that was my daughter calling. Where am I?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Can't see me? Okay. Okay. Start talking, Rissa. Let me figure out how this works.
Okay. Um, as Crystal was saying, well, I was looking at the comments and talking about it being a hobby. I'm new to the live, so sometimes I get a little bit nervous, but um in my own business, one of the things I've done recently is when what she's talking about, getting in front of people. So it daily, whether it's talking to someone, whether it's on social media. So the other day I went to work, for instance, because she stays on me. What have you done for your business today? And that's one thing I love about our relationship, is we definitely challenge each other to continue to move forward.
Can you hear me?
I
Can
can
you
hear
guys
you
hear
now.
me? But you
I can
can't
hear
see
you
me,
now.
right?
I can't see you.
Okay, that's fine. I don't know what happened, but as long as you can hear me, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But the other day I was sitting at work, and before I got ready to go to work, I sat down and I was praying about a couple of things, and I felt led to take some of my product, not just ask people about it, but I took some of my products in, the hand creams, because people like the hand creams. Skin So Soft is big right now, so I took two of the oil gels with me because they fit in your purse, and women love things that fit in your purse. And I was just at work, and we were talking about a couple of things. I said, "Hey guys, I have some of this oil gel," and I was the body oil gelled that's good for mosquitoes. I said, I have some with me if anybody wants some. Just asking, not thinking they would want it or anything. I took 5 different items, 3 hand creams, 2 oil gels, and I sold all of them within 5 minutes. Just asking, like Crystal said. I didn't get to share that with her the other day, but I just happened to take it, and it worked. So asking, like she talked about, it definitely works. You might get 15 no's, but you might get 2 yeses.
Yes.
So
Again, ask for what you want. What does it hurt? What does it hurt? I overheard, believe it or not, just the other day. This was really, I was ear hustling. Anyway, I was talking to a friend of mine, another friend of ours, and her sister was talking about how she needed to go out and buy a gift, a baby gift, because somebody at her job was having a baby. And, she didn't know when she was going to find the time to do it or whatever. Now, this lady was not talking to me. She wasn't talking to me, but I just happened to be within earshot range. You know what? I just went into overdrive. It is almost second nature for me because I talk a lot and I could be kind of nosy. But anyway, so I just told her, I said, hey, you know, so and so didn't tell you that I designed gift baskets. And she looked at me, she was like, gift baskets. And so I immediately picked up my phone and I went to my Instagram
Mhm.
catalog because that's where I put all my pictures and everything. And then I started showing her some of the stuff. She ordered with a baby box. If you go back on my YouTube channel, it's a box that I put together with some baby items. It's a clear box, really cute. And then I monogrammed the baby's t-shirt. Mothers love stuff with their baby's names on it.
Mhm.
And let me tell you, delivered it to her. She paid me, delivered it to her. The next day, I got 4 orders from that one gift. The lady could not stop talking about how great it was. She ordered, um, she ordered 3 more, and then I think somebody at her job ordered 1 more. So, just from opening this, just from opening your mouth, let people know what you do. Let people know that you are an expert at what you do. Look, nobody can sell you like you.
Mhm.
Nobody can sell you like you. Nobody is going to believe in you like you. But remember, not everybody's going to buy. Not all money is good money. And it's okay to take the no. It is okay to take the no. A no today does not mean not ever. I had a gentleman, one of my clients, because I hit them up too all the time. That's another thing. I use my corporate job um, for referrals. I do. I do. People that I know that they like me and they trust me, I always let them know what I do. One guy, it was, I had been asking him, never would buy anything. Lo and behold, Christmas came. He called me. He bought two $200 gifts for me. That was $400 off of one sale from me just opening my mouth. And I think he probably got tired of me telling him how great I was at this. And probably just bought it to shut me up. But nevertheless, he bought it, you know. And then after I delivered it, just like in my corporate job, if I sell you a financial service
Mhm.
product, IRA, a life insurance policy, just whatever, and you are happy with my service, my tagline is, do you know anyone else that might be interested in the service that I provide? Not all the time they will say, oh, yeah, well, I do. Most of the time they don't. And they'll say, well, no, I can't think about anybody, right offhand. Is it okay if I call you in a week to just see maybe if you talk to your sister or your brother, maybe somebody else might be interested in that. Maybe a birthday might come up or just whatever. I have gotten referrals that way. Now, like I said, I'm still working in corporate America right now. I have these business practices. My fear was I didn't want my business, my designer business, to outgrow what I could produce at that time because I was still working a 9 to 5 job. So I couldn't take in a whole lot of orders simply because I did not have the time. But now that I am going to be early retiring. Please, please, please pray for me. Pray that this works out. And I'll have to come back to y'all in 6 months and be like, Lord have mercy, good. I needed to go get another job. I'm trusting God on this one. And He has never let me down. He has never let me down.
Mhm.
God said, I will never see the righteous
Forsaken.
forsaken or his seed begging for bread. And I ain't no beggar. I'm the head and not the tail. So are you. Okay, guys, we have been on here about 39 minutes. I had told Carissa I only want to talk about 30 minutes. I don't do lives very often. Thank you all for those who have stuck with me and stayed with me throughout this process. Hopefully, guys, we will do it again. Um, Oh, thank you for the marketing tips. Girl, anytime, anytime. These are always open. They're always open. I'm not an expert. I'm just sharing what I've learned from other people being in the business for over 30 years. I've learned, I've succeeded and I've failed, but I failed on
Mhm.
their time and on their dime. So God has allowed me to put these tools in my arsenal, not only to use in my own business, but to open my mouth and share what I have learned. That is what I'm all about on this journey in life altogether. I counsel as well. I'm also a life coach in marriage, and I don't have all the answers. I do not. I'm still on this journey learning, but we're going to learn together. So before I sign off, I just want to tell you that in the context of small business development, minding your own business essentially means focusing on your own enterprise rather than getting distracted by any external things beyond your control. It's about prioritizing your own goals, your actions within your business and your personal life. Hopefully this focused approach can help lead to greater clarity, efficiency and success in your business. Here, we're going to learn and talk about how to help build each other, share all things positive. And I just want to thank you for joining in with Carissa and I with
Thank you.
a little tip about minding your own business. I don't know when I'm going to do this again. You guys hit me up in the comments. Let me know if this is something you want to see often. And if you guys would like to join in with us and may have some things as well that you want to share with us. Okay, guys, this is
Thank you.
Crystal with a basket case signing off. Bye for now. Mwah.
Bye.
Love you all. Bye, sisters.